And then he kind of got the picture and moved back, but then he goes, I can't talk to you. You're like my brother. Then he gets on the internet. And then like 20 minutes later, and this is funny real quick because I was getting pranked this whole time. Not by him. I was getting pranked by my friends while this happened.
So they're sitting back enjoying the show.
Well, not only that, but they're using it as a distraction to prank me. So he comes back over and goes, look, man, I looked on the internet and I realized we're both right. I go, I don't know what you're talking about. So he apologizes to me for a half hour. Says, yes, there's no evidence that she cheated. But he keeps talking. And I keep seeing this thing on because I'm getting my phone charged at the end of the counter. Because they have a good charger there. And I'm friends with all the people that work at this place.
Sure.
And I'm seeing on my laptop, these things pop up and it says something like, something, I love Trump. And I'm like, who is posting on my Facebook page all this nonsense or whatever? I'll deal with him when I deal with them. So finally a half hour goes by and I pull up my browser and my Facebook. And on my browser, it says, I love Trump. And it says blacks for Trump with a heart in it. And it's like my post. And I'm like, what? I got hacked. And I go, wait a minute. And I roll back in my head. It's just like that movie with Kaiser Sosa, you know, what's it called? Not The Untouchables, but the Usual Suspects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm rolling back in my head what happened. Somebody was asking what my Facebook thing was, and they went over while this guy was talking to me. And my Facebook browser was still on.
So one of your buddies was goofing on you.
So she wrote that on my thing, like I wrote it. And I'm like, man, you guys got me. Wow, this crazy Bernie bro. And what's funny is I'd already posted, like right before he came over to apologize, I just got Bernie broed. And then he came over, I had to hide it. So it was even better because I wasn't looking at my browser because I didn't want him to see it because I didn't want to be mean. But I was like kind of cracking on this dude, like, dude, this guy came over and he was like, Bernie's the greatest of all time. Oh my gosh. You know, and it was just crazy. It was literally like, I knew the guy wasn't dangerous. But what happens if, do they go up to women like that? Do they go up to kids like that?
It's hard to say. I don't know, but they are a bizarre group. I will say that.
I've never had a Trump supporter do that with me.
Well, and me too. I mean, because again, I will say that most of the people that I hang around with, more than 50%, I'll say that, are Trump supporters.
Yeah, that's
and they never, you know, they just say, well, what about this? What about that? Well, I like this and I like that. Well, what don't you like about him? I said, the way he talks to people, the way he says things. He's the president of the United States. Don't talk that way. Don't be that way. Well, you're trying to say he's not your president? Yeah, he's my president. So was Obama.
Right.
Well, Obama wasn't my president. So, yeah, he was. If you're an American, he was the president of the United States. He was your president, too. Trump's my president. I don't like it when he does this shit. I don't like it. Speak. If you'll speak civilly to people, if you'll not tweet at 3 a.m, go to sleep. Okay? Well, that's not him. Okay, and you're probably right.
I wish we'd do his business a lot less shady too. You know, be a little bit less.
The thing is like the whole impeachment thing. I think that was a witch hunt. I do. I think Clinton's impeachment was a witch hunt because, and I hate to be this way, but they all do it, and maybe that's me just throwing in the towel.
Well, you think they all have sex with? Their interns,
no,
because that's not good. I don't think Obama did that.
No, I'm talking about the shady thing. The shady. Okay, you do this for me, and I'll do this for you. The quid pro quo stuff with the Ukrainians. Okay, I will give you money, but you better do this. And usually it's for us, not so much for me. But I'm sure there's the me stuff that goes on.
That's true. He's the one that got caught, though. He got caught.
But the thing is the whole impeachment thing, and if you remember, the reason that Newt Gingrich wanted to impeach Clinton,
right,
because it was the second term. He wasn't going to win another election.
Right.
But Gingrich thought he could pick up more seats in the House if he could smear Clinton. And it worked. Okay. That's why.
And it helped Bush, too. I think it helped Bush.
I think it did, too.
Because Gore ran away from him.
He did. Yeah. He absolutely did.
And I didn't vote for either one, but if it was between the two, I would have voted for Bush. Easy. No way I was voting for Al Gore. Al Gore is my least favorite dude of this whole era.
Al Gore, and once upon a time, I liked Al Gore. He was an old school centrist Democrat once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, and then he just I don't know what happened.
The Tipper Gore thing still rubs me wrong because I really looked. It's not just the heavy metal thing. The whole I see a link between the Tipper Gore thing and the things about Hillary Clinton and that genre of voter and that.
Explain the Tipper Gore thing, please.
Tipper Gore is where she decided, her and her buddies, suburban buddies, decided that in 1983, 84, the rock music and the rap music was too scary and bad. So she actually wanted to ban this stuff. Mm-hmm. But they said you can't do that.
Right.
So she just wanted to put labels on it, thinking that would drive the stuff out of it. She was trying to drive that out of the market.
Yeah, put a parental guidance label on it. That'll stop the kids from buying it.
It didn't work, right. But what people didn't see is that, she went off on Twisted Sister and a few others. But there are things that she said about the rap lyrics that people didn't hear. It was very culturally biased. It was very elitist. There were things she said about basically saying that these rural Americans are like metal. It wasn't just her being a busybody. Mm-hmm. It was a cultural statement about a certain type of person in America that did not fit in. And fast forward to, 30 years later, there's a feeling that the Clinton, if you look at, there's only one group Clinton did better than Obama with, and that was white women with college degrees. She dropped every other group. Every other group she did worse with. And part of that is because there's a feel people have that runs between Tipper Gore and Hillary Clinton that certainly turns off a lot of people of all races, but particularly it also turned off a lot of young black Latinos, whatever. It turned off a lot of people like yourself who were just like, I just don't like this person. And so the response to what's wrong with Hillary Clinton is, well, are you sexist? Hillary Clinton never embraced and empowered women other than the women that are in on her socioeconomic level.
Sure.
That's the problem with this, with the genre of the liberal, of the left that I see. They're giving her credit for something she didn't do. She ain't trying to help all. She doesn't care about middle people from Kansas, women, men, whatever. That's not her. That's not what she was doing. Her focus, if you look at her media buys, you look at her campaign, it was focused on people like her. Mm-hmm. And to turn around and question any critique of that and say, well, you're sexist or boom, boom, whatever. And Angela Davis said is no. People like Hillary Clinton are the reason why I don't identify as a feminist, because they're not for all people. They're only for people of their strata, of their status, of their
tribe.
Yes, of their tribe. Mm-hmm. And their tribe happens to be upper crust, rich, college educated, which is nothing wrong with being that.
No.
But they're not talking to other people. And that's one thing where you talk about change. That's where when Bernie Sanders said something about the liberal elite and white working, when he said it, the way he said it right after Trump won, I'm like, man, you jerk. It was kind of like, oh, so now you're going to talk trash. But now I learned how to speak Bernie. And I have to say, some of what he was saying, I'm saying it. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Mm-hmm. I don't think you said it well. I think your timing was really bad. But I agree with him. That liberal left part of the Democratic Party is so overbearing, so domineering. They were trying to shame people into voting for Kamala Harris. They were trying to shame people for voting for Elizabeth Warren. And it wasn't based off of, this is a great idea. I never hear them talk about their ideas because their ideas suck. It's always about, oh, well, society doesn't want them because of this, and that. And the problem with that is you then create a situation where we can't have a conversation. They didn't even want to let you and me have a conversation on my damn Facebook page. Yeah. So you know what I did? I turned around and said, you guys are all wrong. I didn't necessarily say that. But I said, okay, I'm giving you an opportunity to explain yourself. You say that all white people are racist. Explain that. And I actually ended up, this is ironic. A white guy earlier called me a hard R, N-word, and I didn't block him because I knew he was mentally touched.
Okay.
I ended up having to block a black guy because he was trying to stop that conversation from happening. Because there's a black guy I know, and I asked a question, and he's just, well, that question lacks nuance. And boom, boom. I go, just wait. Just let people answer. I'm telling you. He goes, no one says that. This is the first thing he said. Nobody says that. I go, dude, seriously? You really seriously believe that no white person says all white people? Just watch. No. I think that if you shouldn't ask that question. What you need to do is tag people. I'm not tagging people. That's harassment. Just let them. And people started answering. And so I go, see? He goes, well, when they say all white people are racist, it's different than the way you said it. I said,
How is it different?
He goes, well, the way you said it, you're implying that all white people are just all Klansmen. And they're saying no. I'm actually repeating what they say, and they're explaining themselves. And he was trying to prevent the conversation from being civil. I say, look, I need you to stop posting for like 20 minutes and let other people post. And he wouldn't stop. So I blocked, I erased his comment, and then he kept, and finally I had to block the guy. Not because he offended me, because he was trying to, for some reason, he was very disturbed by the conversation. It was interesting because he was trying to make the point that black people were just as racist as white people. So he wasn't making a liberal point. But I'm just saying, well, just wait. Let them answer and then have that conversation. And instead, he was attacking me for asking the question. And that's one thing I do not tolerate. Do not yell at me for asking a question. That drives me nuts.
If you don't like the questions that's asked, go to the next Facebook post. Don't look at it. Don't involve yourself. Don't get involved.
Right, but don't tell me I'm wrong for asking a question. No. That to me is,
you're never wrong for asking a question.
And the thing is, no one was offended. And what it is most of the people that said it answered it on their own statuses. They didn't want to have a dialogue. Because specifically a couple of the people that I was talking about, there was about 10 people that said it that day. They talked about it on another, and that's fine because I wasn't trying to attack them. I just want to go, I want to know what the hell you guys mean. I honestly am not entirely sure.
Well, and that's what I like about your Facebook page. There are a lot of good conversations. In fact, I will say most of them I don't get involved in because I feel if I do, okay, now I'm going to, I have 10 minutes and that's all I have, and it won't do it justice.
Right.
So I'm going to read it, take it in, consider it, and then move on.
Right.
Which that's what Facebook is very good for.
Right.
Okay, I never considered this. I never thought about this. You post a lot of articles about black folks that I've never heard of before.
Right.
Okay, here's a fella who was black and he did this. Well, I never knew that. This is Black History Month. And I still remember, and this was my wife. My wife is just a couple years younger than me. She went to Berkeley High School. And for Black History Month, they talked about two outstanding African Americans, Bill Cosby and Arthur Ashe.
Interesting.
And I thought, and my wife even said, surely they could have come up with someone better than an athlete and a comedian. Surely they could have. What about a scientist or a doctor?
How long ago was this?
Oh, this was in the 80s.
Okay.
Early 80s. So a long time ago.
A lot of them didn't know they were black doctors and lawyers in the 80s, honestly.
But there were.
Of course, yes.
So I mean, somebody had to know. The education system had to know. Okay?
Well, when the Cosby Show came out and I went to, Cosby Show had been out for a while. I was in high school. And a white kid came up to me. I'd known this kid for a while. We were both in advanced classes. And I noticed he was a little prejudiced, but I didn't pay a big attention. He comes up to me one day and goes, I don't like the Cosby Show. And I was like, I know this is not going to go well. And he goes, he's a Jewish kid, you said. He goes, yeah, I don't like it because real black people don't act like that. They're too white for me. And so I said something that I actually got canceled before canceling was cool. I said, you're Jewish, right? Yeah. So if there's a show about Jewish people and they're not counting money and spinning dreidels, is it a fake show?
Wow.
So he went and ran to the powers that be, and for the next 4 years I was a Nazi. And they were like, I can't believe you said that. You should be expelled. I'm like, wait a minute, but he said real black people aren't doctors. I'm just making no. So back then it was a different kind of thing. It was like
Did you say that with a little Bernie drawl to your voice? Maybe.
Well, $17 million, the working class. But I remember that was always our mentality, which was I wasn't racist against Jewish people, but I feel like you should treat people like the black people I hung out with. If someone came up and said something like you black so-and-so or you white so-and-so, whatever, and then the white person would say, oh, you black so-and-so, the black dudes I know from the hood, when someone ran and complained, they would tell these, well, you went up to him and called him that. They, these were dudes from Beaumont and Soldan. These were bad dudes. And whenever somebody would try to mess with a white person they were friends with, and then a white person came back and said something and jonesed on them, they'd be like, oh my God, they're racist. They said, no, that dude ain't racist.
They're just coming back.
We know this dude. We know them. Because they went at you that way, they're not racist. And it's weird. It's not like that now with with that group. You know, if you defend yourself on whatever level, oh my God, that guy, you know, it's not even, it's funny because like in my